Well, here we are in the glorious sunshine at Harry Eustace's yard, and I have the pleasure of being joined by Hayley Turner. Hayley, thank you for joining me. Other things as well that are affecting the industry recently, talk of the whip. Now, I want to ask you as an equestrian as well, because you started off show jumping, right? So that the whip, the crop, whatever you call it in every discipline, it's mainly in every discipline, and you know, it's a safety aid. What are your opinions on the whip and the changes that you as jockeys have had to make?
I think for people outside of racing and outside of horses, it like, I can see they're thinking we're battering the horses, and it's just doesn't, if you saw a whip, it's cushioned, it's been modified, and there's so many rules now that are about hitting the horse in the right place, the number of times, and I think it's good that the authorities are keeping it at the forefront of their minds of making it safe, making it everybody's happy, and the new rules, I think, work well to a certain point. I think that the punishment for the going over the number of times is fair, because it's harsh, but if you're going to win a race, this is an example. I rode my first Royal Ascot winner, and I used my whip too many times, and I got banned for 8 days. If someone said to me, you won't get the 8-day ban, but you lose the race, would you hit the horse 8 times again? And I would have done. And it's, I know that the whip isn't hurting the horse, and but I think that now the rules are what they are, and if I was going to hit my horse 8 times and I'd be banned for a month, would I have done it? No, because I can't afford to have a month off work. And I think that that's the difference, and that's why at the higher level the days have definitely increased. Is I think it's good. I think that the thing that they need to slightly change is, that you get punished quite hard for not giving your horse half a stride longer to respond, and I think that that's the sort of thing that becomes a habit, or it's a human error, and I think that those sort of things are, perhaps you could, this is what you're doing wrong, you're hitting the horse in the wrong place. Go away, educate yourself, go and practice, and then if they do it again, then increase the penalty, and if they do it again, then increase it. But there's certain things I think that they need to be more lenient about. But the number of times, if you hit them over 6, then in a big race, I think it's fair that they get a hard penalty.
Is it difficult when you're riding in the race and adrenaline is rushing, and especially with changes, having to also remember your tactics, concentrate on what you're doing? Muscle memory, is that difficult to try and remember all these things? I don't think that the number of times to hit a horse is 6, and fair enough if you go 1 over, but I think that it's so simple, and it's taken a bit of getting used to, and they gave us a bedding in period, which wasn't the best time to do it, because it wasn't a busy time, so not everyone was getting in the rides that they usually would, and so that would have been helpful. But 66 times, it's not rocket science. So there has been jockeys that have got big bans, but they won't do it again, and there's a lot of very good jockeys that haven't done over 6, and they know, and so along the lines now of equine welfare, and this is an equine welfare debate that in the racing industry, it's hit and miss, because animal rising, and obviously we've been hit twice, 2 different occasions, the National and the Derby, with protesters. But animal rising, what do you think should be done about protesting? Because obviously the right to protest is fine, but when it ends up endangering animals, riders, people, what do you think should be done about this?
I mean, it's a terrible shame that it even comes to it. I mean, you're sat here in the yard, and there's a horse over there that's getting bathed, and they won't even allow cold water on the horse's back, because it might not like it, so it's having a warm soapy bath, and it's been bedded down with a bag of shavings that cost a fortune because they've got no dust in them, and they're eating the best feed that you can buy, and they're getting turned out, and they're just so well looked after, and they're doing, the horses race and they love to race, and it's, you couldn't have them cared for any better. Like, even my dog Frank doesn't get as much love as these horses do, and it's like, it's so frustrating to see that they're using racing to degrade, like it's a bad thing, and it's just completely not at all. And using, I think they were on about putting down nails at Epsom, the protesters spreading nails on the grass just to stop the racing, and it's just like, what, it just frustrates me, and I don't know. I mean, I think they did a great job managing it at Ascot, and it's just a load of nonsense, really, if you ask me. It's a bunch of people attention seeking, just jumping on the snooker tables, like, what, get a life, do something more productive. It's just frustrating for me. I don't see the point in it, and I'm probably rattled a few cages by saying that, but I don't think using horse racing is a worthy way of making a point. So.